So I was just talking to Chris about how you can save 90% on all your software subscriptions by switching to Odoo. And the way they do that is Odoo has now 73 different applications that you can pay one per user price for access to all of those. So welcome, Chris. I'd love to chat more about how you and Odoo help small and mid-sized businesses get more done for less.
Thank you very much, Zack. Really appreciate it.
Hey guys, Zack from Trusty Oak here, and I wanted to sit down with a guy I met recently named Chris Ricevuto, who is here in Austin, Texas with us, but is originally from Belgium. And his company helps other companies get onto ERP systems, specifically Odoo, which is what we're going to talk about today. Chris, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Zack.
So talk to me about your company, how you guys got started, and then why you got into Odoo specifically.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to work at Odoo directly back in the days in Belgium, approximately from 2017 to 2020. And I fell in love with the software. It's a very nice and user-friendly software solution where you get to have access to all the apps. It's a one-stop shop for every applications your business needs: CRM, sales, invoicing, accounting, inventory. That's where I met my business partner at the time. And we decided that we had everything on our hands to be able to serve companies by yourselves. Odoo has this partnership agreement that you can sign to be able to be your own independent company and serving customers throughout their partnership agreement. So that's what we did during COVID. So it was a very tough period at that time, but we managed to grow in 5 years from 2 people to 60 plus. We are in 5 different countries: Belgium, France, Switzerland, and also Canada and the US. And we are in Austin to serve American companies with Odoo.
So I know here at Trusty Oak, a lot of our clients are small businesses where maybe the owner is the only full-time person in the business and they have some part-time help through us. And then we also have some larger organizations where there might be tens or dozens or maybe even hundreds of people working. So I'm curious about who's using Odoo, how big are they, what stage of business are they at, and what are some of their pain points that you're trying to solve with that software?
The great thing about Odoo itself is that it's a very user-friendly tool. So even if you are the only person in your company, you can start using it. And the great thing is it starts at $25 a user a month, and you're going to have access to approximately 80 plus apps, from CRM to accounting, project management, manufacturing, all those kind of things. There is also one app free version. If you want to try it out and use one app, you can use it for free, unlimited amount of users. And when it comes to our kind of customer profiles, because we are a service company, we tend to serve bigger companies, starting from 10 people to 500 people. We serve a lot of different industries: food manufacturing, retail, B2B services, field services. Today we work with 400 companies in different areas and different industries.
What's like a typical use case? What are they doing in the present moment? And then where are you trying to get them as part of the migration and support that you guys provide?
First of all, it's not really necessary to completely change the way you work today. If you, for example, are using HubSpot for CRM marketing, you can perfectly use it. But then if you have project management and you have to integrate it with accounting, that's also what we call the phased approach. We would rather prioritize your operations and make sure that we are only implementing what you need at the moment and then expand later if it's necessary. And if it's not, then we integrate the software into Odoo itself. We have done HubSpot integrations with Odoo. There is 2 different types of strategies. You can use standalone softwares. The upside of it is there are a lot more features than an integrated software, but the downside is, of course, the tools have to talk to each other and it's usually more expensive. Whereas an integrated tool like Odoo, the good thing is you only have one subscription for a bunch of different tools. They talk to each other. The downside is, of course, it's not as complete for the CRM or for a project management system. The thing that we've seen so far with companies is that even though they use HubSpot, they don't use it to their full capabilities. You're overpaying for what you are actually using.
Where do people typically start to migrate to Odoo?
There are different angles to that. The first one is accounting. In the US, they don't like QuickBooks anymore because Odoo is a one app free. You can get to use the accounting for free. That's usually where people start. Then with the website. So if a company doesn't have a website yet or they want to change the website, Odoo is perfectly capable of creating a very cool website. It's very user friendly to build a website yourself. You can use AI to do it as well. Another angle is the operations itself. It's usually typically a consultancy company. So far, they manage project through Excel. And then at some point, they need a proper tool to work with. And so they start start with project management, and then they see that the CRM is built in. So it's very easy to add the CRM and the accounting later. Usually when a company starts with an app, they usually expand to other apps because it's so easy, and it's also kind of free because you're already paying for your subscription.
Who do you think is kind of your all's biggest competitor or alternative? Who are people typically already on when they first discover you guys and they eventually migrate off of?
So for smaller companies, we usually replace Excel and QuickBooks. And when it comes to bigger companies, so either they grew really fast and they don't have a structure yet, so they are using a bunch of different tools, or they are using another ERP system, for example, NetSuite. There's also Microsoft Dynamics.
What kind of inflection point do you think a business needs to be at where they should consider integrating into one big system instead of multiple different systems?
It comes from different things. One of them is lack of reporting. You start your company, you are 2-3 people, then you expand, you now have 10, 15, 20 people. You are still using the tools you used in the very beginning, and now more people are working with them, and you cannot read the data of your company. You don't have access to it, or not in real time, or it's very difficult to build dashboards or reports. That's usually when Odoo is very strong, because it allows you to centralize all the information and then access it in real time. One of the other reasons why we talk to companies is because they lack structure. It takes a lot of administrative time to work. Their processes right now are not as efficient as they could have been. Usually what Odoo does is that it gets rid of most of the administrative stuff so you can focus more on your customers or your operations.
Do you have any interesting or fun anecdotes about any customers you've worked with where you saw kind of a major win or transformation for that customer?
I remember really clearly textile company. They had a salesperson, maybe 80% of her job was doing administrative stuff. She was barely selling anything because she was so overwhelmed by administrative things. After a couple months after the implementation, she started selling again. She was more focused on sales. She was happier, and the company did more revenue for sure.
Your company, Nalios, is an official partner with Odoo, as you mentioned. How do you recommend someone choose either A, to implement it themselves, or B, work with an implementation partner like Nalios?
If you are tech savvy and if you are willing to put in the work and your company is still relatively small, you can perfectly do it yourself. There is a lot of training materials on Odoo's website, so you can learn how to use Odoo by yourself. When it comes to our services, we usually work with bigger companies where they want to rely on experts to implement the solution with them because it's a job in itself. They want to make sure that the implementation is done right. They don't have the time to do it by themselves alone.
So, Chris, if someone wants to learn more about Odoo themselves, they can just go to odoo.com, right? But if someone wants to learn more about Nalios or talk to you directly, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go to nalios.com. So it's nalios.com. And you'll get all the information required.
If they fill out a form there, are you probably the person they're going to talk to, or how's that work?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So they get to talk to the man himself. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for your time. I appreciate anyone who watched this. Hopefully you learned something. I know I learned something. And if you need any help with systems like Odoo or any other kind of small business or mid-sized business systems, don't hesitate to reach out to us here at Trusty Oak. Either we can help you with it, or we might know someone like Chris who can help you as well. Thanks for your time and keep on growing. Cheers.